Welcome back to ARC Seattle on this Friday morning. I'm Steve McCarran.
And I'm Tyra Majors. Let's dive right into the deep end. Do you ever use the buy now, pay later options when shopping online? If so, you've likely seen the options being offered from companies like Klarna and Afterpay.
But the way you pay back those loans could soon impact your credit score. Consumer man Herb Weisbaum, a contributing editor for checkbook.org, is here to join the conversation about this. So first, Herb, explain what buy now, pay later is for those who don't know this process.
Sure. The typical buy now, pay later model is a 6-week loan, 4 equal payments. You pay 25% at the time of purchase. In most cases, these are interest-free loans, these short 6-week loans. They're growing in popularity. They're not just for online purchases anymore. That's how they started, but they're now being used at all kinds of retailers across the country. You can do them when you're in a brick and mortar store. And according to Capital One Shopping, we will hit $122 billion in buy now, pay later sales by the end of this year. So you can see it's really growing.
I see them a lot before I purchase an airline ticket.
Same.
Yeah. Okay, Herb, and starting in the fall, FICO will consider buy now, pay later payment history data in some cases when lenders get credit scores for people who apply for credit. Can you explain that?
Sure. FICO, which is the biggest credit scoring company in America, about 90% of lenders use a FICO score, has decided that they are now going to roll buy now, pay later history into the score with 2 new algorithms they've created that can be used if lenders want to use them in order to decide if they want to give you credit or not. A big step forward for people who maybe only use this as a credit. They don't want to use credit cards. They don't have any other loans. It'll help them a little bit. FICO says it'll more accurately let lenders decide whether they want to lend to you or not, and could possibly give credit to more people who are not able to get credit at this time. So it's a positive step forward. It's just not the end of the world. It's not going to bump you from 620 to 850. It might bump you a couple of points, but it is certainly a step in the right direction. It indicates how pervasive these loans are, and that the industry that tracks us for deciding whether we are good credit risks or not is taking this seriously, and we'll see more of this in the future.
Herb, I know in your checkbook story you noted that the big 3 credit bureaus are all experimenting with collecting this type of data and how to use it for their credit scores. If this takes off, let's say, is there a potential downside to people who buy items this way and don't make payments on time?
Sure, there wasn't a lot of harm in the past. There could be more harm to your credit score in the future when they start using these things. And a lot of people don't pay on time. A survey was done by LendingTree, and that survey found when they asked people, 41% of borrowers said that they reported paying late at least in the last year, at least one of their buy now, pay later loans. That's up from 34% a year ago. That will be a more significant problem for you if you pay late. It will show up possibly on your credit scores, in your credit file. You know, lenders don't have to do a score. They could look at your file, and that could have a downside impact. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
So if someone is going to use a pay later option, what is the right way to do it?
The only right way to do this is to use it for something you could afford to buy, and that you need to just break up the payments a little bit, and you're using it one loan at a time. Where people are getting in trouble, I've spoken to debt counselors here in the Seattle area, is they have 5, 6, 8, 10 of these going at the same time with different companies. They lose track of when the money is being taken automatically out of their accounts. They get overdraft charges, which can be very costly. The average overdraft fee right now is $27, according to Bankrate.com. Or when you're using it to make purchases, such as people are now using these for gasoline, for groceries, for DoorDash. These things are not even paid off by the time you use them. That is not a good way to run your personal finances, by doing something like that. These are loans. You are taking out loans. You only want to take out a loan when you really need it. And keep in mind, these aren't credit cards. You know, they don't have the protections of a credit card. Tyra, you were talking about using it. You're seeing it when you take out an airplane ticket. I want a credit card behind me when I buy an airplane ticket. If there's any problem, if there's anything I got to go back, I don't want to have I go to the buy now, pay later company, and they say go to the airline, and the airline says go to the buy now, pay later company. The finger crossing, that happens all the time. That's probably the #1 complaint with these buy now, pay later companies, is if there's a problem, you don't know who to go with, which indicates why, when I went to the Better Business Bureau website, a lot of these big companies have a 1-star rating, 1 out of 5.
Wow.
I think that says something.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, Herb. What if there is a problem with a transaction? Who do you reach out to in that circumstance?
That's the problem. Nobody knows. You know, if it's a credit card transaction, you go to the credit card company and they take care of it. If it doesn't show up, if it's defective, who do you talk to? Each one's going to point the finger at the other one. Oh, and by the way, while this is being resolved, we've heard from many consumers that the buy now, pay later lender continues to charge you. So you continue to make payments on the merchandise that didn't arrive or the merchandise that's defective. Whereas if it were a credit card and you called the credit card company up and said, I didn't get the stuff or it was defective, they pull that off to the side. It's not on your statement anymore, and you're not paying that off until they have a chance to investigate it. They are two completely different animals. Nothing wrong with a credit card if you use it wisely. That's the best fraud protection of any product out there. Gives you all kinds of other benefits. If you pay your bill off every month regularly, you can get all the rewards that go with it. So there's nothing wrong with a credit card if you use it wisely and pay those bills off every single month.
Herb, I would imagine that we're seeing such a large increase in the use of these types of systems just because of inflation, certainly how the economic situation is looking right now. Say the economy improves even more and prices start to go down, do we expect the use of these to go down as well to follow that?
Prices aren't going down. I hate to break that to you.
Thanks.
They go up and they sort of stay up. What's going to happen is you are going to see more and more companies using these because they work. Surveys show that on the online world, they keep people from putting it in a basket and never finishing up with a transaction. You go through with the transaction, dramatically higher levels if you're online. And in the real world, the same thing. And also, because of that psychological thing, you just spent $100, but you really only had to give them 25. In your mind, I just saved 75 bucks. No, you didn't. You still owe the $75, so you might buy an accessory, Steve, a nice little pocket square to go with something you just bought, or a nice sweater to go with that shirt you bought. You spend more, and that's why Costco, by the way, that doesn't take American Express, is now taking buy now, pay later. They pay 2 to 3% of the sale to a credit card to process the transaction. These companies are paying these retailers are paying 3 to 6% to the buy now, pay later companies to do this. Gives you some indication of how powerful buy now, pay later is to close the deal and make money for these companies.
Wow.
So
And by the way, they're also expanding. They're now going to use it for dental, longer term transactions where there may be interest involved. So this is just starting. They want to be big players. They want to be the new super app where you do everything. And this is a plan. They've started out and they're going to move into more and more things. Can be used wisely. You just have to know what you're doing and not use it to extend your budget when you don't have the money to pay for it and you're just kicking that can down the road and the bill's going to come due someday.
Wow. Sounds like it's easy to fall behind in those payments for sure. So where can we go for more information?
You'll find this story on checkbook.org. And I also just did a gigantic podcast on this, 30 minutes of pros and cons, and you'll find that at consumerpedia.org. I hope you'll check it out. It was an interesting podcast.
Herb, always great to see you. Have a good weekend, buddy.
Okay, have a good Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.